I'm having civil disobedience at this point in my life because I have a decision to make. At 4 p.m. today, which is notably before 5 p.m., a normal workday is 9 to 5. At 4 p.m., my record is going to get shot up and blown apart because I had a loan that I took and I didn't take it seriously. This is going to be a $4,000 leash put around my neck. And if you don't know how that feels like, neither do I. But nevertheless, that's the case because I would have broken a stipulation agreement. Because I don't have $55 to pay. So I'm considering donating my blood. And that's so funny. This morning I saw a guy, he looked at me and behind him he had a window crash down. And I mean, outside of the window a lightning bolt crashed down. And it was the same time that a female woman was running down a staircase. And it happened in unison. And it was so odd. I'm like, don't do that. You're making the thunderbolt strike. And I know you're not supposed to connect weather or the environment to phenomenon happening realistically to people because that's a stretch. Even a psychiatrist would say is not connectable. Nevertheless the case, I'm in the road right now but wait, this female running down the stairs, she got down the stairs, put one leg up in front of me. She had wetness on her crotch. So I don't know if she pissed her pants running down the stairs as this guy's looking at me when a thunderbolt's going off outside behind him from the window. But nevertheless the case, that was the outcome of what she had going on with her. That being said, I lined myself up inside of a direction where this is an arrow pointing to me. That's an arrow pointing away from me. But these are no arrows pointing where it is forward going out. So any cars in front of me are not able to go through the direction I'm sat in. It's only from cars from behind my shoulder that would be entering because this is an entrance, not an exit. Those two factoidals alone, I got a dip because this guy's coming in. See, I was looking at the mirror in front of me and any cars from the main street trying to turn in. He's actually overpassing the entrance at a different scape. So, you know, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He's trying to come in. I vacated. He went into a different entrance. Scot-free. How do you be scot-free nonchalant? You gotta know directions of the road. How do you know directions of the road when it comes to the law books? With what that might mean is something entirely different of being caught off guard with your pants down. Now, I've said some things in the last 4 minutes that seem adult-like and are PG-13. And please excuse me, because every time I upload a video, I have to click a button not allowed for kids to view in order to get comments able to be commented in the section below. Am I pandering to them? No. Am I trying to make this family friendly from what I remember what PG-13 standards are from the 1990s when I was below the age of 13? Yes. Is that going to pan out to YouTube and Facebook standards? F Mark Zuckerberg. I don't give a about him. My PG-13 standards makes his mark every time. Mark.
Right before you cam up when you go on TV,
right before you cam up when you go on TV or a play production like theater where people pay money for a ticket. You have like a makeup artist do your hair and makeup, and I don't have one. So, in understanding circumstances that are superficial, it's important to note the inside from the outside. In any case, I was just told that my friend had a flat tire in Waukesha, and the fact of the matter that he's there is because the person that he likes has cramps, and this is associated with what newborns have when they're being born prior to it. The fact of the matter is that his flat tire is not $1.30 because he doubled the text message one raised to the three. He was asking for $13, and then he referenced a tow truck. So if you note in the same thread, this is what they say in digital nomenclature is threads. It's in the same thread if it's a text and it's followed by another one fairly shortly, then it's in the same thread. So he put $1 or the number one raised to the three. I thought would be $1.30, but it was $13. There was a sneaky suspicion because in the same thread he put calling the tow truck. Table that for a second with what it means to cut something in half. In a diagonal, if you had a body, you can see by cutting it in half, this body would encapsulate the innards. And this is a great way to understand what germophobia is. But that said, and because a lot of pictorials happen in the body of homeostasis, and that's a better depiction because your body is always functioning, because the heart's always beating. The more that you can denote from that foundation, it's easier to understand what is detoxifying, because that is always things that you're trying to get out of you. Separately, if you don't have $1, you can get this for 50 cents. Produce my own stuff and directors. The tile on here is like the Japanese Beast of Blood, Malice Miser music video. That's notable because in monster trucks, there's this one called Truckosaurus, and how equivalent is that to Megazord is a vehicle to the foot of Megazord. Let that simmer. There's a wicked echo effect in here. Let that set in. I'm germophobic, but on a scale of what a makeup artist does to a person before they go on TV, I want to know how much of a germaphobe I am to mosquito bites. When they're suction, they have saliva that goes into you. As they're sucking on you, I have 17 mosquito bites. And they welted up so much because I must have got so many blood out of the most prone positions, which are ones that are least likely to get injured. It went right for those areas. So it welled up and it looks like chicken pox. I'm not going to show it on camera because we're not supposed to show blood on camera on YouTube. But blood as a chicken pox is basically the same thing, germaphobe-wise. So if you're germophobic enough, you turn into what an investigator is, and when there's a police investigation, all bets are off the table if you're being detained because they roll over you. But it's embarrassing because cops can't stop everything, like if it was a zombie apocalypse and zombies were orcs and they kept coming. This is what they do in Power Rangers. They have the putties, and Rita, she keeps sending them because they're so easy to make and they keep coming. So because cops can detain you, and that would be the end of your life if you're charged with something heinous enough.
It's a joke on his face that the cops can't stop for the life of them any circumstance, like putties in Power Rangers or orcs in Lord of the Rings. So, germophobic wise, it doesn't pan out if you're looking at things that are incredulous on their behalf, mainly stuff that they would be sent money from the Pentagon to perform that is worth not getting detained over, but equal to point the finger at them during circumstances that weren't invented before 2020. I mean, after, before I didn't slip. I go place to place trying to find Wi-Fi because that's the only way I can make a call because I'm cheap. I noticed that Wi-Fi in certain buildings is stronger in some places and weaker in others, despite it saying it having signal. This to me means an electron orbital has the same oblong nature or obtuse nature. What can we depict from this to make germophobia something that isn't schizophrenic but more logistic? So what I just said was really abstract because it takes state-of-the-art equipment and the most high-end doctors in the world to perform any logistics of the germophobia that I just described. So when it's so abstract, you need a similar situation to cut it, to relate to it, in order for it to be understood easier. Not to water it down, just to look at it with a different scope. My hair was so bad before I put water on it to make it look a little bit better. But if you look closely, it's not tailored the way that a hairdresser would put in mousse and cut it if we were trying to make it look great. And you can see the difference of that with a person in boxing who gets fixed up quickly in order to get back into the other round that they're going into. The medic takes care of them as quickly as they can, doing as much as they can with a limited amount of time. It's these two perfus with mousse and hairdressers and medics inside of a boxing match in the middle of one that we can look at germophobia and surgery with the new scope. Now, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just a lay throwing darts at the board in the dark. And that's just because the doctors would say with their machines that they don't know what's going on. It seems perfectly fine. With this depiction, I saw a person with an umbrella the other day, and if you don't know what's upright, your spine might, because its discs are always been placed at the same direction for your entire life. So I bet your buttons that they know which direction up is. If we're looking at this depiction in an umbrella per se, you can have like a hunched area where you're uncomfortable and you don't have good posture. It's probably here, but it could be anywhere on here. And with me, I've got like this thing problem with my neck. So it would be like a problem with my neck, a diagonal that would be just like a stray from the side discs. Take that for what it is, and that's my 2 cents.